So to me, I love busting tables. Even if I don't need to, I still want to have something to do, or at least do something on the side. I mean, to bust tables on the side. But it's some restaurants though that just make busting suck, and that's when I'll just give up, or just give up on that job and try to look for another one, another busting job. Um, but it's restaurants like Chewy's to where they're gonna be picky about the dumbest details. It's just ridiculous. I mean, don't like it seems like they don't understand. Now, I mean, they may be managers of the restaurant, but with me having 10 years experience, I'm a master of my craft. I know what I'm doing. I know what system to use to get tables cleared off as fast as possible, how to consolidate everything in the bus tub and all that. I know more about busting tables than those guys probably put together. They don't understand our situation, and so I mean, whenever they would tell me to do this, do that, and as if we were not even trying, I just in my head I'm just laughing. I'm like, "Get out of my face! You don't know anything when it comes to busting tables."
The art.
Do I?
Yeah, it's kind of like
They don't understand the art.
It was kind of like an experience where you could be like, actually, if you do this, you could do it even better. Like you could, you
I
could
don't mind that.
teach them.
The buster trainer was telling me. Now he was telling me how to consolidate the cups and stuff in a certain way, which I can understand that that's his job to train us, and all that stuff. And I'm not going to argue with him on that because he's the trainer. It's reasonable. I'll do it. I'm not going to. If he told me to do something stupid, not ridiculous to where I knew it wasn't going to work, I'm like, are you sure it'll work? And I guess I still have to listen to him because he's the buster trainer from the other store that's getting paid so much an hour and we're supposed to listen to him. But as far as like managers, hey, you guys got to pick up the pace. You guys got to go out there and like they shoot first and ask questions later. Basically, some of them do. I remember one manager at Roadhouse did that to me, and the GM told me and this other buster, "Hey, can you guys go ahead and stop cleaning tables real quick? Go outside and do a trash run real quick. There's a bunch of trash piling up." We go, all right.
Roadhouse. Yep.
Next Roadhouse. We go out there, throw all the trash away. We come back in, and this other manager walks up to us and says, "I shouldn't have to look for y'all for 20 minutes. There's a bunch of dirt tables out there. You need to get your butts out there." And we go, "Dude, Bill told us to go out there and throw trash away." "Oh, really? Oh, okay." And I kind of cussed at him and walked off. And he started following me like, what, Ronnie, what'd you say? Ronnie. And I kept on walking, ignoring him. He finally caught up to me. He goes, "Are you cussing at me?" I said, "Yeah, dude. You need to find out what's going on first instead of chewing us out like that." "Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry." That was my first busting job. That's what made me start to get smarter in the restaurant business and not put up with any crap, because that was ridiculous. You don't shoot, especially not to be cocky and arrogant now, but I've done this 10 years. I really don't put up with that crap. I really don't have to my two jobs that I have. My two jobs that I have are awesome. Managers are good. They treat me good. But that's why I don't last long at places like Don Carlos and Roadhouse. Screw those places. I'm not going to put up with any crap like that ever again.
I have a little thing about Roadhouse.
Pain don't hurt.
Yeah, it's kind of about what you was talking about, but different. When I worked at Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse, I was in the bakery. I was a baker, made all the rolls and made the honey butter and all that shit. And there was a time where the front of the house manager, it was like, "We need you to go out and bust some tables." And I was like, "Okay." So I went out and did it. And after I got done with that, one of the guys that worked on the fire grill was like, "Did he try to get you to go out and bust some tables?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I went out and did it." And he was like, "He can't make you do that." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Well, I was just doing my job. I thought that it fell under other duties as assigned, because that's pretty much any job, other duties as assigned." And he's like, "He can't make you do that." And so the next time that the dude asked me to do that, he didn't even ask me to do it. He was like, "We need you to go out there." And then he did it again, and I was like, "No, I'm a baker." And he's like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm a baker. The other guy told me that I don't have to do that." And he was like, "Oh, well, I'm going to talk to your kitchen manager about that." And then nothing happened. So
yeah, that sounds like a guy on a power trip.
Yeah, it was just like they were trying to take advantage of me, and I'm glad that the dude on the fire grill told me that, because I would have kept doing it, just thinking that I don't want to get in trouble. And
yeah,
I doubt he even said anything to the kitchen manager at all. He probably just was like, "Damn it, somebody else told him, somebody else schooled him and let him know. Damn it."
Working in the restaurant business for 10 years, I've developed more patience, but at the same time, I've gotten, even if starting at a new place like Chewy's, even where at the time everybody was new because we were all in training, opening up the new restaurant, and even now I'm like, smart enough to where, I can tell if someone's trying to take advantage of me or not. And some people will do that to new people, and I might still do it depending on what they ask me. But if they like say it with an attitude, or if I'm real busy, I'm like, I'll say something and probably won't do it. I remember one time at Carino's in 2003, they always got us to do a bunch of maintenance stuff to where it's ridiculous. I mean, every once in a while, cleaning projects, yeah, but they would like go overboard with it to where it's just like keep us there so much longer and so many changes going on at once. And I was kind of like afraid to climb. I'm kind of afraid of heights, I guess you can say. I hate climbing real high on a ladder and cleaning the ceiling or changing a light bulb or something. And so the manager told the cook to tell me to do this at the end of the night, and I just kind of got tired. At the time, I was getting tired of Carino's, and I just said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. That's way too high up for me, and I got tables to clean out there, and kind of got in trouble for it the next day. Hey, you didn't do what I want you to do the day before. And I'm like, well, I mean, I finally got tired of it, and I said, well, it's not my job, dude. And plus, I'm afraid of heights. And he goes, well, so am I. I was an airborne ranger. I was afraid of heights too. And I was like, whatever. And I kind of walked off, made my mind to put in my 2 weeks notice. And I didn't think about it till later. I wanted to tell him, well, this is not the airborne rangers. This is a restaurant. I mean, come on.
Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, really. Or whatever he's talking about. Walker, Texas Ranger, I don't know.
Texas Rangers.
I mean, yeah, let's not talk about the Texas Rangers right now. But anyway, yeah, it's like
Chuck Norris, Texas Ranger.
Now, as a Christian, though, I understand. I'm supposed to do what those in authority tell me to do, unless it's sin. Like if they tell me, "Hey, Ronnie, I want you to kill that guy right there." Well, obviously, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But I mean, I try to do what I try not to argue with authority unless it's something I think is really ridiculous or frustrating to where I have to complain about it. And I mean, I believe in doing what I'm told, all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm not going to let people run over me, especially when they're not in charge of me. I know there's employees that work there 10 years and they're respected. They're looked at as, it's their house. They've been working here 10 years. They know what they're doing. Listen to their wisdom and all that. And I understand that, but if they're going to use it to like boss people around all the time, I don't take that from anybody. If they're a manager, that's one thing. I'll put up with only so much. But with someone that's not in charge of me, if they ask me nicely, that's fine. But if they're not a manager and they tell me what to do, I'm going to stand up to them. Like this one woman I work with at Chili, she's cool, but she's like one of those women with like in her 40s with an attitude. Only if you push her. I'm like, she kind of has like an attitude. She's very assertive, and she's a great server and everything. But there's like a few times where we got into it because she didn't pre-bus her table. She goes, "Nuh-uh, that's what we pay you for. Supposed to clean our table." I go, "Nuh-uh, no, you need a pre-bus first instead of walking off like that." Now, I usually never complain about people not pre-busing. I just clean it and move on. But this time she kind of like laughed about it, like, "Oh, I can't help you. I got sat. Sorry." And that made me mad. I was like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry too." I walked off and stacked the plates on top of each other so that she can come by and get them. And then as soon as she went back there, you mean to tell me you're not going to clean my table? I go, "I'll pre-bus it first. I'll be right back over there." "No, you need to come over there." I was like, no, you need to pre-bus first. And yeah, we got into it about
Sorry,
that.
I'm busy right now. I'll get to you in a minute.
And she goes, "That's what you pay you for." I go, "No, you get paid to pre-bus. That's part of your job is to pre-bus. We get paid to bus. But you, and especially when it's that slow and you're not being sat and you don't need it to be cleaned immediately and the section's cut to where you have no more people coming in to sit your section, you can wait a minute." I mean, now, if we're busy, then we can't be doing that. We can't be saying, "Well, I'm not going to clean that. I'm going to walk off." Some buses do that, and that's ridiculous. It's busy. I know people should pre-bus, but when we're busy, just clean it off. And if the managers will walk around and tell if they're catching that pre-bus, and they'll say something to them. But if it's slow like that, and you're back there talking on the phone, dancing or laughing and joking about this and that or whatever, and that happens where I work at, dancing in the kitchen or whatever, talking, joking, when they could be out there pre-busing when it's like dead out there at 9 p.m. at night, then they need a pre-bus. That's no excuse.
Right, and on top of that, as a server, that's something that a server actually wants to do. From my experience, and I'm sure from a lot of other people's experience, if you see your server pre-busing for you. Hey, how's everything doing? Can I take some plates for you?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's something that servers should want to do because that impresses the customer. Hey, they're really working for me. I should hook them up. I should give them, a little bit extra instead of just, oh, get that buster to do it. He's the grunt. He's nothing. That's what we pay him for.
Yeah, I know.
That's ridiculous.
There are some ECW servers at Chili's because there are some servers that pre-bus so much that they're practically busing,
Right. Yeah.
not just
Yeah,
pre-bus.
they got their crap down, and that's why they make the good money. And
Yeah.
it shows.
I'm like, you should be a busser instead, but obviously she won't make as much money. But
Yeah,
I just joke with her.
She's old, or not old, but she's older and set in her ways. And
Yeah, but I mean, she's cool though. She has a good server, and she does need to lay down the smackdown on some people up there that deserve it. But she does respect people that stand up to her. So, I mean, but me and her we're always cool, and she does respect people that stand up to her. So, I was like, yeah, and it got to where she looked like she was in a fighting mood, and like she's about to fight, and I was like, we didn't say no fighting words, but she's, like when you get in an argument with somebody at work, it looks like it's about to be a fight. That's how ugly it's looking. That's how we were getting into it. And I just can see the argument said whatever and walked off. She goes, whatever. And after that,
it sucks that it had to come to that. It sucks that it had to come to that.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, I know other people stand up to her too, but I mean, ultimately she is a good server. She does pre-bus. But that one day she really said the wrong thing to me, and I was like, you say, like, sorry, kind of laughed and walked off. I'm like, that's not cool, I mean, you could have said, you could have, she would say, I'm sorry, some servers would say, hey, leave that there, I'll come back in a minute, don't worry about it, I'll get it. No, she could at least said, I'm sorry, I wasn't on pre-bus, I just got sad, I'm sorry. But no, the way she said it, like, sorry, nah, or, no, screw that.
So it was just that one time?
That's like 2 times in 3 years I worked there, we butted heads, and that was it. So it's not like we always.
Well, now I kind of feel bad.
No, she's not.
Like she's all set in her ways and stuff. I kind of feel bad.
What she is, but I mean, she's not like, if she was that bad, she wouldn't be there no more. She got fired. I mean, she's been there probably 6 years, and I think she's like 40-something years old. I mean, she's a great server, and she's real cool, but, like at the same time, she's set in her ways to where, I mean, it's easy to get an argument with her about whatever, but she's not that bad. There's been much worse servers experience. Okay. Somebody actually got fired at Chili's for not pre-bussing. And that was the old GM that had worked there, and he was being like pressured by the area director or corporate on these stupid gym score surveys.
So he set an example.
Yeah, and he was setting an example, and even though I thought that was extreme, but he was a bad server anyway, and I think he got tired of it and said, "That's it, we're letting you go. You're not doing what we asked you the third time tonight. Pre-bus your table, you're out of here." And so he kind of got what he deserved, but at the same time, I don't think she should have been fired for it. But then again, maybe he did deserve it. I don't know, but yeah, pre-busing equals ECW people. Yeah, so if you're a server out there and you're listening, pre-bus your tables.
That's right.
Before I get Bear to come to your house and eat you. I don't know.
I will break you.
Well, I think we need to get Bear to come to everybody's house through the speakers and tell his horrible job experience.
Yeah.
Well, my stories are always going to be fucking short, and not a whole fucking lot happens.
Okay.
Should I still continue?
Yeah, right.
Alright, so there's this one time I was working at Wendy's. Throughout the entire spring, I had to work, when I was 15 or 16, I had to work 25 hours a week during the day, 5 hours a day during the weekdays. And then when the summer came around, I got to pick a few days off, so my days off were generally going to be Tuesdays and stuff like that. So I took those days off. Then one time I had the bright idea, well, actually my brother and my mom worked there also. We all had the bright idea to work together on one night and do a closing shift. Big mistake. Let's see. I think we started at about 4 that day. in the afternoon. Work as usual, that bullshit. Actually, that was one of the first times that I can really remember that I had like this kind of like outer body experience where I could just see myself going through the motions. I wasn't really thinking of it. It was just like going through the motions like that. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
I kind of do when I would run on no sleep and
Yeah,
work.
it was kind of like that.